This is mine.
Oh shit, yeah. Isaiah knows. You know.
What do I know?
You know what you know. The guy from Game of Thrones, the one that was,
George R. R. Martin.
No, not the guy that wrote it. The one that was.
Ned Stark.
Does anybody know what the
Not being funny.
Side question? Does anybody know what the RR stands for in his name?
I'm willing to bet that he does.
I'm thinking it's like really rad or something. Red Robin.
They had a recently on Reddit. They had a letter that George R. R. Martin had written into Marvel, discussing his feelings of the new Fantastic Four that had just come out.
Oh, because why?
It is completely sarcastically hilarious. It is so funny. But he signed it George R. Martin, no two R's at this point.
Okay.
9 or 11.
Well, he was probably only rad at that time. He became really rad.
He didn't earn the
later on.
extra R till later in life.
Exactly.
Like, who cares what you think about? No one asked you what you think about Marvel. I mean,
He's a great writer.
yeah, wow. Oh.
Well, welcome once again to the Playful Secrets podcast. My name is Isaiah Huffman. Alongside me today, to my right, is the lovely
Brett Skinner.
Brett Skinner. And to my other right is...
Carrie Eller.
Okay. And today we're going to be...
I don't like the way I'm introduced.
How would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, no. We'll discuss it later.
Her Majesty Carrie Ella the Fourth.
Valhalla does have a very regal name. I gave
She
to her.
does.
Yes.
Great Viking.
Yes.
Are you a fan of the Vikings?
I suppose so.
The football team from Minnesota?
Absolutely not.
No? How much football do you watch in a regular year?
0
That can't be true.
is yes, very true.
Well, that's a sad fact.
That's not a sad fact. It's a good fact.
Very
Brett
good
agrees.
fact. I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's one thing we love to talk about here on Playful Secrets, it is sports. So we will move on from that topic. However, there is nothing on my plate today. So, Brett, why don't you start us out with something?
Have you guys seen these new solar roadway things?
No.
Have you heard this?
No.
Seen this?
No.
Inform us, no.
They there's a couple in, I believe, Utah. A couple engineers had this idea to replace our current roads with solar panels that are, specially designed to be able to take weight and things like that.
Was this in Arizona?
I don't think so. I believe they were in Utah. I could be wrong about that, but it's somewhere out there. And but anyway, they developed them. They submitted the idea to the government, who gave them some funding to develop it further. So they hired more people to refine it and that kind of thing. They have a working models now, which they've currently only really paved their own in front of their own business just to kind of show it off.
Right.
Because it's expensive, because it's early, in the technology and stuff, so it's not really
Everything
ready for
is.
mass
Absolutely.
rollout. But they, after they developed it, then they started Kickstarter as well for some additional money to hire more people to refine it more even.
Okay.
Which they went way over their goal, because they put out a viral video that showed like how they would work. Some of the things they do is, one, they catch energy, of course, from the sun.
Is that how solar energy works?
That is, catches it, grabs it, and but their goal is to eventually get these on to replace roadways everywhere.
Right.
And we're saying that if they repave our country, USA, America, then we would produce 3 times the amount of energy we actually use per year. Just free energy like that. Like, it's just from the sun. Just be the cost of putting these
How much would
plates
the
down.
initial cost of laying that down over our entire highway system?
I've been looking for some real statistics on that. I've only seen one person actually quote a number, and it was somebody who was very negative against the idea.
Right.
So I'm not 100% sure if this is anywhere accurate. They're saying $56 trillion, which is nuts.
Well, maybe not, dude. If you're thinking about the entirety,
It could be, but
As far as I can understand, solar panel technology is kind of shaky. As far as, we're going to be driving over these things. Is it going to be? I assume it's going to be putting some sort of see-through plexiglass that protects.
Right, it's glass. They're saying it can withstand 250,000 pounds. So I mean, it had to be like a semi dropping from the sky.
How much energy would we
'em.
get just for doing like the Southwest? Because I can't imagine there being a great
That's true.
need for this technology in the Northwest.
Well, like they were saying, you know, if we repaved everything, it'd be 3 times the amount we use currently.
Right.
So if they did a third of the country, then that's our entire energy needs right there.
Okay.
But
Are
here's-
there enough
Yeah.
roads in the Southwest to cover that? That's the whole thing.
Well,
They
he-
have like very few roads out there as well.
Well, here's the other thing too, is that they have built into them like a heater kind of thing. So as it catches energy from the sun, it actually gets hot. So in the winter in these northern states, they could eliminate snow removal because they stay hotter than freezing all the time. So
Wow.
it would melt snow as it hit it.
Right.
And then also they put in conduits for water so that they can channel it wherever they want it to go. You know, if there's some water treatment plant or whatever. So as the snow melts, it doesn't just kind of blah, it actually goes somewhere.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds awesome.
And also they have LEDs in them, so like, you know, if it's late at night, there's an animal walking across the road. As the
Yeah.
pressure hits it, it lights up. So you could actually see. And audience, I'm tapping my fingers, acting like I'm walking across the table right now. Which I just realized nobody knew except the 3 of us here.
So as the critters are crossing the street, these light up to scare them
Right,
away?
wherever their feet are hitting.
Oh,
Maybe.
I
It
would
kinda
want
like
to
Michael
just see
Jackson
that right
with the
there.
pictures?
Absolutely.
What was that?
I would like give money to that Kickstarter right now just to see that one day.
That'd be interesting.
But then also they can just put messages on them too. You know, like you'll see like school crossing or, you know, just various things that are painted on the road.
Maybe we could get people's
Wow, that's
Bluetooth
awesome.
technology to hook up with the road, and then their text could actually be displayed on the road, so they wouldn't have to take their eyes off the road.
Exactly.
Just an idea.
That is a really good idea.
That probably caused more wrecks than it helped.
But that's one thing they were saying too, is that, you know, if there's an accident, they can put something in the lane that the accident is in and say accident, you know, 2-3 miles ahead or whatever. You may want to turn here, and that would light up to actually show you like turn here, you know,
Right.
that kind of thing. So there's a lot of stuff to it, which right now I think it is way too expensive. Because they were saying I think it was a 12-foot by 12-foot coverage with these things is like $10,000. So
Wow.
it's a lot right now.
Yeah.
But that's why they're trying to get more money behind it, because they're not a large company that spent years developing this. It's just 2 people in a shack that kind of came up with a good idea, and they got some backing.
Right.
But they're still developing. They've only got a couple million into it, which, you know, when you look at other big products, I mean,
They just need
way
someone to
more
give them
behind
money, is what it is. They just
Yeah.
need money,
No.
like everything. Yeah.
If someone just give me some money, that'd be great. Listeners, if you could, send in money. Envelopes, send them to care of Playful Secrets. Or send us your PayPal account numbers to playfulsecrets@gmail.com.
But yeah, it's,
But seriously, do it.
But yeah, I hope they continue to develop it, because I think as they get more people, and because I mean, solar power is something they've been trying to improve forever. You know, because I think currently it catches like I think about 30% of the energy coming down.
Which is much better than it used to be.
Right, but it's still 30%. You know, so I think if we got it to where it worked better, then this might be something they do in limited amounts, like just the highways maybe or something like that, where it would cover a decent amount. If we were catching 100% of the energy from the sun, we wouldn't need to pave every freaking road.
Where does this energy
Yeah,
go?
yeah.
It obviously wouldn't be going to the private sector. And then that'd be
That's another
government
thing.
Electricity distribution taking over.
Well, that's another thing they'd have to work out, because we don't have anything that has that much capacitance to like hold that amount of energy, you know?
It's like the Ghostbusters ghost gel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we can store certain amounts, but really battery technology sucks. I mean, look at like your phones and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people's phones barely last a day, you know?
Not
Bat-
with heavy use. Yeah, mine definitely doesn't last that long.
Right, exactly. And that's just some tiny little device. I mean, imagine your house, you know, how much energy that uses during a day. And just having to store that somewhere. I mean, you'd have to probably have a house-sized battery next door to really hold it all.
Well, you know, it's just sad because think how much of our technology is held back just because certain people make money off a certain thing, you know,
Absolutely.
and keep
Yeah.
down other things that would replace their product, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's why, like, we're not in crazy space land. We probably could be, you know.
And Crazy Spaceland.
Well, think about, like, you know, how they thought of, like, in, like, the
Orlando.
1950s, what it would be like. And,
Like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, maybe, of course, not to that extent, but, I mean, we could probably have some way cooler
We're getting closer to the
things.
Jetsons than you might like to understand, because
I mean, well, we
Jetsons
are, but
were
at the
basically
same
living in
time-
the clouds because the Earth is covered in water, right?
I don't know. Did they ever show, like,
they
the
say
Earth?
that,
I don't
really?
know.
I believe
I
that's
don't
the
know.
case. Of course.
Let me
with
look
a-
that up while you two discuss.
With a lot of
Okay,
things
yeah.
that come out of my mouth, I usually just make them up. We'll see. We'll see if it's actually true. Sometimes they work.
Yeah, I don't ever, like, I wasn't, like, huge into that show.
I hated the show as a kid. I did not care for it.
I didn't hate it, but it certainly wasn't one of my favorites.
I didn't understand any part of that being funny, really. There's a sad sack with annoying kids, a dog that was mistreated. Wasn't the show
A
for me.
robot slave.
Well, that was interesting. I think we can all agree that's the only part of the Jetsons that's cool.
I will point
Having a
out
robot.
the first thing I pull up when I put "Why do the Jetsons live in the sky?"
Yeah.
is a Reddit article that says, "If the Jetsons live in the sky, what horrors on the surface were so bad they had to leave?" And let's see.
That makes a good point. It could be roving with monsters,
Oh, that'd be
kaiju,
Ooh.
or maybe they built big Pacific Rim monsters and then they became sentient.
I'm gonna say Robot Uprising. That's
Must
my
be.
belief.
But
But they have robots upstairs, up in the sky. I mean, whatever.
Bunch of people jabbering about it.
nothing to
No real consensus. or
Yeah, I don't
anything.
think they ever showed what.
I think it
They
was just
just-
covered in water.
Hmm.
I just
Mhm.
that's just my natural thought. I don't know why. Makes sense to me.
Maybe they're in the Matrix. Did you ever think about that?
No.
I hadn't, but now that I have, I feel a bit dumber for it.
Maybe the events of the Matrix were happening at the time of the Jetsons.
How
It's
so?
just the Jetsons are up in the sky in the clouds. You know, they never go down. Beneath them could be the whole Matrix.
So they
movies
live
happening.
inside the Matrix, but they're in the clouds of the Matrix.
Yes, maybe they're the overlords of the robots. You know, you think the robots are in charge, but
But it's really just a
Maybe
guy with a
somebody-
mustache and a stogie.
And,
Yeah.
and they continue to just live like it's 1960 up there. That's what we was, you know, because they go to school and with the housewife and, you know.
Yeah.
What was your favorite cartoon as a child?
Oh, I mean, of course, different cartoons at different ages.
Yeah,
When I was real little.
Let's go 3 stages. Let's go like the toddler age. Let's say
Oh.
4 to 8. Is that toddler?
I
don't
think
understand
Looney
kids.
Tunes.
Yeah.
I'd say Looney Tunes, like
Yeah,
you know
definitely
Bugs
Looney Tunes.
Bunny and stuff like that.
Oh,
shit
not
that
me. I never was like huge into them. When I was like little, I was all about like the Smurfs and Rainbow Bright, and of course like you know the Transformers, you know,
Oh yeah.
all those type of things.
Never
And
cared for
then
Transformers.
when I remember in like
What?
middle school, yeah, fuck, isn't that crazy? Of
That's
him?
insane. Because
nuts.
any boy from the grew up in the '80s,
Hell, I'm a
Love
chick
that.
and I loved it. You know,
Loved it, yeah.
it was awesome.
I've tried watching them because they're on Netflix and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
they are.
terrible.
Horrible.
Beyond
It is
horrible.
So horrible. It looks bad. It's just
Absolutely.
the stupidest stories. They don't say anything interesting. It's just like, why did we love this so much?
Yeah, it was
We
pretty
loved
bad.
it, though.
I hated it. I hated it as a child. The G.I. Joe was big for me as a young man.
I wasn't into that.
Yeah, I was in
yeah.
that too, for sure.
I mean that was like a cool cartoon, but it was. I tried to rewatch that recently on Netflix.
is it really
and
bad?
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
I haven't really tried to rewatch any Smurfs, but that's pretty terrible shit.
I never liked the Smurfs
I
growing up
loved the
either.
Smurfs, man.
Not something I was.
I used to
into.
watch it, but I really don't
Rainbow
remember it
Bright,
very much. or
loved it
anything.
so much. Oh, I remember having like because my mom was super cool and I'd get like kid magazines,
Uh-huh.
and I remember like a ad, like a full page ad in it for the Rainbow Bright movie, and I was just like salivating over it as a child.
I had no idea she had a movie.
Oh yeah, I think there was a couple movies. Oh, and of course the Care Bears. Hell yeah.
That's what I
I
remember
was
too.
all
I
about
like,
the
I
Care
forgot
Bears.
about that.
Oh, and
Big
Cabbage
time.
Patch Kids.
Ah.
All about the Cabbage Patch Kids. Oh, and Pound Puppies.
Oh yeah,
I liked the
Puppies are
Pound
good.
Puppies.
Yeah.
Was that a
Yeah,
cartoon
there was a
or
lot of
just the
great
Yeah.
stuff
Toys
that I
first?
loved.
I don't know
Oh,
for sure.
I don't know
I think it was
either.
just the little.
Probably Toys first.
Yeah, I think-
Probably. A lot of that stuff was. But yeah, I loved all that crap. And then I remember in middle school, Tiny Toons.
Yep. Yep.
That was, like,
Tiny Toons were
awesome.
fun. I enjoyed that.
And then like high school, I enjoyed like oh gosh, there was like different
Sex.
stuff. Max, the Max on Well, yeah, that too. But the Max on, you guys remember the Max on MTV?
Oh,
yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Did you know that was comic book first?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I happened across a floppy of the Max over at the Hero House the other day when we were in there.
Oh, okay.
I was
Oh,
like,
really?
Holy cow, I haven't seen this in years.
God, let's go buy it.
Yeah.
I would love to. I've not seen that since it aired. Pretty much.
I've said it before. I can't start buying comic books. It'd be too much.
Oh, a floppy. My bad. For some reason, I don't know what I was thinking.
Big floppy wiener.
She's thinking floppy disk.
We know.
You saw a floppy? Let's go. Let's go right now.
Oh, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy comic books either, because I would just spend. I mean, they're so expensive now compared to what they were like when I was younger. Because like, they used to be like less than $2, you know, for sure.
Yeah, I think like the general floppy is like $4 or $5 at least now.
It is. It's like gone way up. I don't really know. I guess maybe because there's not as many people buying them, so they had to jack up the price, or.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably more expensive to produce them than it used to be.
Yeah,
because
true.
The writers are known now. The artists are known now. So they probably require more money.
Yeah, and rightfully so, you know.
But like, I look at how many I used to read when I was a kid. Like, it would have been like hundreds of dollars a week to pay that price point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been impossible. So I think it's, you know, it's kind of nuts, but there's probably a reason why they are that expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure. I do still have a comic I buy. I do buy The Walking Dead just because I've read it for like years and years, and like before the show even came out, like you know, been reading it. So what I do do not buy it weekly. I just wait for the what are they called, the trades to come out, and it's like $15-$16.
They're called trade paperbacks, Carrie Eller.
Okay, trade paperbacks, and I just get those.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
not a bad
how
way
I keep
to go.
up on that.
If you're not like real hardcore into collecting them and having like the original one or the you know,
yeah, I'm not at all
the individual releases, then yeah, I mean that's totally the way to go. If you just want
just
the
like
story.
my zombie stories.
Yeah, you haven't read many of the comic books I've tried to get you to read.
Yeah, I'm just not super into comics. You haven't read the comic book I tried to get you to read? It's awesome.
I read The Walking Dead.
I'm not talking about The Walking Dead. I'm talking about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. That was the first comic I ever read, and I love it.
Have either of you guys ever read Y: The Last Man?
Yes, I love it.
No, but I'm
not?
interested in that.
It's like one of the best comic stories I've ever read.
I've heard
really
about
good.
it.
It's
I've
really
heard
good.
about it.
They've been in pre-production for a movie for that for years now. They just can't seem to get off the ground. They can't get a script written they like, and it's a long story to try to tell.
I know. That's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. I was like, man, are they gonna try to make it one movie or?
Yeah, I would certainly hope not.
Because that would be, they wouldn't get. They
be
could
terrible.
do it, but they would just have to skip a lot of stuff. You know.
Yeah, you really.
Which would make it terrible. You know what I mean? Certain things
Yeah.
can't be cut up.
There's so much in it. I just actually reread that within the last year when I was working at the store.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff in there as I was rereading it, thinking, you know, how to make a movie out of this that may not work on the movie. Like, it would be hell to have ampersand run all around all the time.
Yeah.
I mean...
They could CG it, I guess, but...
Yeah.
Get, what's his name, played Golem.
What's his name?
Andy Serkis?
What was that?
What's his name?
There's a, you know, Golem from the Lord of the Rings movies. There's an actor who actually has like a suit on that has a bunch of like ping pong balls on it, and he does the movements. I mean, he acts all that stuff out that Gollum does.
Oh, that's right.
And he did the
I remember
monkey
that.
in Planet of the Apes too. I know.
He also did...
Oh, dude, I cannot wait for that. I'm excited about that.
Second one.
Yeah. He's not really into it, but I certainly am. Certainly am.
Yeah, I have no interest in the Planet of the Apes. I really never have.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've mentioned earlier, the only one I've seen actually is a Tim Burton one. That was because it was directed by Tim Burton.
Oh, that was horrible.
And that didn't work out so well. But
Yeah, that last one though, I didn't think was bad. What was it? The Rise or
Rise of the
something?
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a long time ago when I saw it, but
Yeah, I just don't get the appeal. Is it really just
Smart monkeys.
it's
monkeys.
horrifying.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
That can fuck you up.
It's like, what if your pets rose up? That's kind of what it is. It's like, you look at your dog a little bit different, you know, like, what are you thinking?
Yeah, but your dog isn't like a 6-foot fucking gorilla
Not yet.
that can
Give her time.
rip you apart. Lalo rip you apart with kisses.
Oh, God.
She's a good
Okay.
girl.
No, Planet of the Apes never got. it just doesn't appeal to me at all. This new Tom Cruise movie, The Edge of Tomorrow, I don't know if we spoke about. We saw the preview for this recently, and it looked like Video Game the movie. Just die and repeat, and die and repeat, which can be kind of boring if he just keeps doing the same thing. It all depends on how it's directed, I guess. It got decent reviews. Did you have any interest in that at all?
I'll see it on when it comes out on video.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
am not like I thought his last movie Oblivion was
Yeah.
gonna be like cool as crap, right?
Yeah.
It was so boring.
See,
I
I
didn't
thought it
pay
was
for
going to
it
be
either.
terrible.
Uh-huh.
I really thought, because that was another thing, we just got it on video, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought it was going to be terrible, and then it wasn't like completely bad. It wasn't horrible. I didn't think it was
You're
horrible.
right. It wasn't horrible, but it was just.
I expected it to be
looked
horrible.
A lot
And
better.
it was boring to me.
I knew- I
By
just-
numbers.
I thought the special effects and some of the technology kind of stuff they had was cool. That's kind of what saved it for me, but the story was kind of
I liked the story.
no. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
liked
don't
it.
remember too much about it except for he's
It was just a
going
bunch
out
of clones of
and
him.
looking for
There was a bunch of hers, and
spoilers for Oblivion.
oh man, the movie is old. If you haven't seen it, oh, don't watch it. No, I would say watch it.
Like, God damn, I was going to watch that this weekend.
This is the Tom Cruise Oblivion, FYI.
As opposed to
The Full Moon feature Oblivion, which was a Wild West sci-fi movie, which was horrible from like the mid '90s.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, it's bad. It's a
I'm
low.
familiar with.
Like, are you familiar with Full Moon? They had a lot of straight to VHS. at the
I'm
time
familiar with
movies.
Full Moon.
No,
They
I'm not.
they put this movie out in like the mid '90s. After like they had kind of a good run where I think they were making money and
Yeah.
becoming
Probably.
popular. Kind of at the end of that, they put out this sci-fi western with all these aliens that were Wild West cowboys on some random
Okay.
planet somewhere, and they lived in like a Hollywood Wild West lot is what it looked like as far as the buildings were all that style and wood, and you had a saloon, and there was nothing high tech except every once in a while they'd have a ray gun, or they would have some like floating horse motorcycle kind of dealio, like a speeder from Star Wars kind of thing.
All right.
But it was just like they didn't have any money though, so they had the worst makeup because they're like lizard people and all this kind of stuff. There was no CG at all.
Was there anyone? I don't know Full Moon features. I assume this. Probably no one. There's no way I could have heard of this.
Oh, I couldn't I've just seen it. I've seen so many like horrible movies. I've seen it popped
They
up.
did like Trancers.
There you go.
They did
Trancers.
Subspecies was the one that was kind of a popular one.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I remember
Maybe.
Species with the blonde lady.
This is beneath that.
Way beneath it.
Way beneath that. But it's like they had all these actors who were just D-list. They were just really cheaply shot.
Right.
They would usually have some boobs in there to get like kids to
Oh,
watch it
yeah.
or whatever. Like teenagers, not kids, I guess. But
There better be
drop
some
people in.
asses in this as well as a Full Moon feature.
Oh,
There
good
better
point.
be.
Good
They
point.
better be.
Touche.
So yeah.
But yeah, they put out a string of just B movies, and they played it. I mean, they weren't trying to make them serious.
Are you
they
a fan
were,
of the B movies still?
I am. It's like if they aren't trying to make it a B movie, because that's kind of become a thing where it's like, let's try to make it really bad because
Like
that's
the
funny.
Sharknado and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, all that sci-fi channel.
Right.
Stuff.
I'm not real into that, but like if somebody's really trying hard to make a good movie and it's just horrible, love that.
Where
Yeah.
you can tell they're really trying.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're not good at this.
One exception I have seen to that is Hobo with a Shotgun.
That is good.
They were trying to make it campy, obviously, and they did well.
Yeah.
That was good.
No, I've never seen it. And I've seen it on my queue several times. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
It's much better than you'd ever anticipate.
Did
I
you
love.
ever see Black
It's not
Dynamite?
bad.
I did not.
That was
What
enjoyable.
movie?
It's kind of the same thing. Kind of I believe it's called Black Dynamite.
I do remember
never
it, like
seen it.
the previews and stuff. but-
Yeah, I think it might have been one of those movies that was previewed at Grindhouse, and that became
okay.
a real movie. So it was a parody, but it may not have been. I can't recall, but it's just all like 70s.
Mhm.
Black exploitation. Yeah, it's really funny, and it's edited in a way.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
So is Hobo and Shotgun that way, or is it just so over the top that it's kind of fun?
It's kind of like that. It's a little grindhousey. Like it's real. graphic and over the top with the violence sometimes.
Right.
But the little bit of a spoiler here, the whole plot of the movie is there's this hobo who's what he wants more than anything is to get a lawnmower. That's the whole
So
his
he can
whole
get
drive.
back to work, man.
Yeah, his whole drive in the whole movie is
He's a man who wants to work. Is what it is.
Okay. So he wants a lawnmower but has no lawn.
right, and he has no money.
Okay.
And so he's just trying to figure out like how am I gonna get, and it's from a pawn shop, you know, it's like a used lawnmower from a pawn shop, so it's not
Right.
it's not expensive or anything, nothing top notch. He's not fancy, and he spends the whole movie just trying to figure it out. Like, you know, he's a good guy though, so he doesn't want to like steal from people or do anything illegal.
Sure.
But he's, you know, if he can just get that lawnmower, then everything's gonna be okay. And
it like totally looks like Detroit, like
now.
yeah, right now.
You know, RoboCop-ish.
Definitely.
Did you see the new RoboCop?
I did not. Have you?
No. I really don't have any interest in it.
I
Nor
do
do
want
I.
to see
I
it.
really do not.
But I just really don't want to pay to see it. Because I have the feeling it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I think someone would need to pay me. Now, who plays RoboCop? It's the gentleman from The Killing.
It is.
that
Yeah,
right?
and I do enjoy him in The Killing. I enjoy The Killing. And I think he does well in The Killing.
And there's a new
so
Killing
I hope he
coming out
got
to
paid well for
Netflix.
this movie because I don't think it did well, but I hope he got paid well for it because I like him.
He probably made a
Yeah.
little bit. Because I think this
Oh,
is supposed to be
sure.
like his first big
Yeah, unfortunately.
starring role. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
unfortunately, and that's why I was sad because it didn't do well because I really like him. But whatever, that's what I'm saying. I hope he got paid well for it because he's cute.
He's cool.
He's cute.
Okay. I do not care for that show. I think
What's
I
the,
tried
what,
to watch it. The Killing.
what is that?
Basically,
It's an
one of
AMC.
it was one of the first ones of this new spate of ideas where you only have one mystery throughout the entire show, and so
Mhm.
there's 13 episodes chasing one killer,
Okay.
and it just bored me.
Gotcha.
I enjoyed it.
Carrie likes that the killers don't get caught too often.
Well, I don't believe that the Killing might have been also the first that didn't actually catch at the end of the first season. It actually took 2 seasons, I believe.
Yeah,
for the
they-
first
they
mystery
drug-
to be solved.
Yeah, that was a little drug out. Definitely, I felt that. The
Were you
sec-
sad when they caught him?
Kindred spirit.
Mhm.
Who's your favorite murderer on film? On film. Let's not get too rude.
Like your face, you know, like horror stuff. I don't know. I guess I've always really like when I was a kid. I've always liked Freddy a lot,
I like Killers with
and
Purpose.
Jason. Of course, I love Jason, but of course, Freddy.
Speaking of Freddy, I just read that Robert Englund is going to come back one more time.
I read that too, and
Did
full
ya?
makeup and
Mhm.
for autographs and money. And I was like, man, I bet you have to pay extra because he's like, all makeup.
Uh-huh.
I forget where that. I read that too. I forget where he's gonna be, but do you remember?
Oh, well, they were saying he's coming back for a movie. Like he's going to do another movie.
Oh, a movie?
Yeah.
Is Wes Craven involved?
I don't know about that. It was this little blurb where they were talking about, like, I forget what the guy who played him in the most recent one. I want to say Haley Joel Osment, but that is not it.
Rorschach. Let's call him Rorschach.
There you go.
See, I read that he was going to a horror con in full makeup.
Oh, he may be.
Yeah,
But they were just
that's what
saying
I thought you were talking
he's going to reprise the role.
That would be
Play
awesome
Freddy.
because he could totally do it with the makeup. You know what I mean? It's not like you see.
Well, he made
Yeah.
those movies. I mean, that's what
Fuck
drew
yeah.
people in was like the crazy killings and stuff that he did, but also just his really cheesy humor and just the way he played them.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. I mean, the first Nightmare wasn't
Cheesy
cheese
at all.
It was straight
Right.
up played for blood and gore and just scare the crap out
And
of you.
horror,
Just
dude.
got-
It was
just
horror.
unraveled from there as they started doing more. So, do we really need more Freddy?
Man, I think
mean,
that
is there
movie is
anything
still
else to be
scary.
said?
Well, I think they just want to modernize it for the current generations because when these current generations are looking at this one from the 80s, they probably have a hard time relating to the characters and stuff.
Absolutely.
Just and how crappy it looks too. Because I mean, at this point, everybody's used to HD, Blu-ray, all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah,
to
there's
look at
kids that have never known anything other than that. You know.
right to watch something that's letterbox from the 80s, it's probably pretty rough. And
Yeah, I understand. It is meant just to perpetuate the franchise, if you will, because I'm sure it's
No.
not artistic. It's like, hey, we've got this great story.
It
to
might
tell.
be. You never know. Like they might
you
just-
don't know Isaiah.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
I don't know, but I would be willing to go 90-10 on it.
Whatever. I don't care. I'd still like to see it again. I love me some fucking. I love me some Freddy. Hells yeah.
So, Freddy and Jason, do you have any favorite film killers?
Freddy was definitely a big one for me too. I was always most excited about those when they'd come out. I usually liked the more off the wall ones just because I liked more of the creatures versus like the killers. You know what I mean?
Oh, what was your favorite creature?
One that I really thought was really cool is there's this movie called Rawhead Rex.
Oh, I don't think I've
Ever
ever seen that.
It's from the 80s. It's like this demon just comes and has sex with women and kills them afterwards after they have the baby. And they come out, they spawn demons, basically.
That is crazy.
They don't really show it in the movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like a porn movie. But
No, totally. It's just implied, but still.
Yeah, exactly.
Still totally 80s, man.
But it's this big, like, did you ever read the Pit comic books?
No.
Do you remember that? Okay. Well, if anybody out there has read that, that's kind of what it looks like. It's just a real big Hulk kind of build.
Okay.
But, you know, like brown, kind of hairy. It looks like a weevil or something. You know the weevil? You ever seen the weevils?
I can picture a weevil. I don't know if it's the weevil you're speaking of. I don't know individual weevils.
You know the weevil down on 33rd Street?
Oh, yeah, that weevil. No, I don't have a specific weevil in mind. I was just thinking of a general rodent-esque.
Right.
Look.
But just the look of that, I thought it was really cool. The movie itself was not. I wouldn't recommend watching the movie even because it's pretty horrible. But just some of the special
like
effects
weebles,
and things
you mean like
that.
those little wobbly things?
That's a weeble.
That's a weevil.
Bull.
Oh.
This is
They
a
don't
V.
fall down.
Weevil.
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 Well, the first thing I thought of when you said weevil, I don't know if you've seen these electronic balls that have this little like tail on it that looks like a weasel, and it just kind of rolls around on itself.
Is that for like cats?
I don't know what it's for. I think
I'm sure it's for cats.
I'll let you know right now. I keep up on all ball-related news articles and paraphernalia.
This week in ball news, Brett.
Harry
Ball. I always liked the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking of film killers is Kevin Spacey from Seven. I liked that he had a purpose, he had a vision, and he didn't lose. That's always big. I enjoy that.
Well, Freddy had a vision.
And what was that?
In the first movie, dude, he was
Killing kids?
Yeah, he was, and specifically the kids of the parents that killed him.
It's a revenge movie.
Yeah.
No, wasn't Freddy sexually harassing these children? Not the 80s teens,
No.
but the 70s or the
No,
60s.
it had to be
He
them
was just
because-
showing them how great things could be.
So yeah, it
Trading them
totally
nice.
had to be the kids that he was molesting because these are the parents that hunt. You know what I mean? That hunted him down.
They never proved anything.
Well, he kind of got set on fire.
Yeah, well, in the movie they just called him. In the actual movie, he was just a child
Spoilers
killer.
for Nightmare on Elm Street.
He was just a child killer. But in the we watched a documentary about it, and he was in the original script also a molester and murderer of children. And but at the time that the movie was going on, production or whatever, there was some big countrywide crazy like child molesting shit going on.
Like a conference? Just
Yeah, like a conference, totally. like a really bad, like a
neighborhood
case of a
gathering?
daycare, and like Satanism was involved. Everyone was freaking out or whatever. So they cut out the whole touchy parts and just left the
Took out
stabby parts.
took out all the love.
They took out all the love. Yeah, they just made him a complete monster. No love for the little children.
So no mentions here of Michael Myers. Just thought it was interesting.
I never got into him.
I dig him, but he wasn't my favorite.
I thought it was a ripoff of Jason. That's what I
Yeah.
remember when I saw it. I was just actually one of the first ones I saw was I think part 3,
Oh,
where it's like the
damn.
Halloween
That's the
masks
worst-
have something weird in them.
I've never actually
Jesus
seen
Christ,
that
that's so
one.
horrible.
how
Bad.
It is so bad.
Really bad.
Well,
Way
I
bad.
think it's
Even when
bad.
I was a little kid, I knew that it was garbage. And I was like a little kid.
What was the first horror film you saw, and how old were you?
Well, I was watching horror movies before I could remember. And I know that because saying to my mother, I remember coming up to her being like some vampire movie I wanted to see because I heard it was a classic. And she's like, "Oh, you've seen that." Referring to before. Like I was a child. I was like, dude, I don't remember that. I was a little. But one of my first actual early memories, period, is of anything was The Fog by John Carpenter.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
one of, you know, just like, of course, just like, you know, different scenes, just blurps really. But I was so little, it was one actually of some of my first memories ever.
Of ghost ships.
Yeah. Well, I remember the scene with the very end with the gold and the chick, or the, you know, the big gold cross. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Yeah, and the priest, where the dude still kills him, gets the gold and still kills him. And I remember the chick being like crawling up and the dude coming after her when she was at the very end up on the lighthouse.
Yeah, I don't know the movie.
Yeah, so I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it either.
Yeah, I can't follow you. Sorry.
Yeah, totally unfollowable. Followable.
So there's this movie, and there's this woman. She's in a tower, and it's called
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse?
She's in a lighthouse.
There's a gold cross.
Gold Cross.
Go, go.
Somebody's crawling.
That's exactly it. That's it.
It's a must
That's
see.
it. Yeah, okay.
It was awesome. I loved it. But I loved all scary movies. Zombie movies were my favorite when I was little.
Mm-hmm. No different now.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Mm.
My first horror movie that I ever saw was Parents. Have you seen that?
No, I've never heard
Yeah.
of it.
It's I saw it probably when I was like, I think I was probably about 5 or 6. I mean, I was pretty young, and it's just basically these parents are cannibals, and the whole movie is from the point of view of their son, who starts to suspect something's wrong, like some of his parents are doing something wrong or weird, because they just act kind of funny, and he starts to pick up on things, and he eventually gets proof. He finds, you know, his parents are definitely killing people and taking the meat, and he confronts him on it, and they basically tie him to a chair at the kitchen table and force him to eat human meat, or else they're going to kill him.
Therefore, making him one of them.
Right, like I guess
One
they figure
of us.
if he
One of us.
I guess they figure if he eats it, then he's going to be in on it or something. But he's been eating it for years unknowingly, so it's just like.
Is that the big reveal at the end? You've been eating it for years.
But they.
Made of people.
But I just remember at that time, like it really made me. It fucked with my head because it's like when you're 5 or 6, you don't really question your parents. You know, like you just kind of accept
Not too
that.
much.
Right. You know, you just kind of accept that they're the authority figures, I guess.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was just like, are my parents doing crazy shit too? Like, I don't know, you know?
Only in
And-
the bedroom.
Dude.
But the other thing that was twisted about that movie is this kid eventually gets away from the parents. They end up dying, like in a fire. I forget exactly what happened. Like, he basically traps them, lights a house on fire kind of thing.
So he burns his parents.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, and he eats them. But no,
He does?
that does
Oh,
not
okay.
happen now. But he gets away.
Barbecue.
And he goes with his grandparents, live with his grandparents.
Right.
And the end of the movie is like his grandma's tucking him into bed, and she's, you know, reassuring him like, oh, you know, it's over now. You don't have to worry about it. You know, everything's going to be okay. And then she sets down a huge roast beef sandwich right in front of the camera and just kind of zooms in on it, and that's the end of the movie. So it's like, were the grandparents doing it too?
Absolutely.
That is some ending cheese right there.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
But at
Dude.
5 or 6, it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
man, like,
The movie
Makes you
that
think.
fucked me up when I was that age was Sleepaway Camp. I saw
Oh,
that
yeah.
young, and that, you know, we all know that ending. I was just like, whoa, I was confused. I was just confused because, you know, it wasn't like I said, it wasn't 8. Like at 8, I'd be like, okay, I get what's going on. But I was just like 5 and being like, whoa.
well, I remember I saw
What
that
was happening?
when I was like, I don't know, I was probably like 11 or 12, and it still fucked me.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, what the hell? You
Really?
know, like, yeah, because I mean, 11 or 12, you know, I grew up in conservative Michigan. I never heard about
Where's conservative
transsexuals.
Michigan?
Southwest.
Oh, okay. Thought it was all pretty liberal in the Michigan state.
Oh, no.
No, not from
Not
what
at all.
everyone I've ever met from Michigan.
Maybe Detroit area. You can, yeah, I'll say that, but
Yeah.
the rest,
Rural Michigan.
no.
The rest is militia Michigan.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It's very, very Bible thumping and, you
Brett
know,
loves Michigan.
anti-government, things like that.
Why'd you leave? Can't imagine. I know I couldn't live in that. I mean, just living in a place where it's so small and just wooded. Anything that's wooded. I don't like trees. I prefer to be in buildings. Have buildings around me. I don't
Well-
like being out too far from the city.
Yeah, I like the city too. We were just talking last night. It's like, man, I do appreciate the country and the woods. I like the woods. I
She
enjoy
does.
all that. I like cabins, and it's a nice place to visit. But
Every
I
full
like.
moon.
That's just a necessity. That's not a visit.
Yes. But like, you know, I like living in the city. You know, it's so nice.
Big city living.
Living in the city. Yeah. But it's been fun. Actually, we went and saw Polka Band Friday night, and I wish I could remember the name of this polka band.
Polka
but
Boys.
It was a blast. It's the Polka Boys.
Polka Boys.
There's
It
about
was
9
a
of them on
blast.
stage. It was a lot of fun. It's a beer garden at the Rathskeller. If they come back, go see it.
They do come back July 19th, I believe,
Yeah.
is what the guy said.
Shouldn't be too hot that night.
Because I was dancing and I knocked his music down.
Uh-huh.
Because you're like right up on the stage.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I know. I did. And I was just like, oh, he was so nice about it. I apologized several times.
As they escorted me out of the building.
He was nice about it. It was pretty awesome. We one of the cats came out and did some bottleneck on his guitar or bass. Yeah, excuse me, his bass.
Uh-huh.
It's where you take a bottle and you play it.
Okay.
It's pretty. It's old timey.
For the listeners, it looks like Carrie was just stroking off 2 guys.
What's new?
Well, just 2. That's new.
It's been a long weekend.
Long weekend.
Long weekend.
Long but fun. But fun.
Yeah.
We got down to the Ball and Biscuit, which was very nice. Actually, they have very good cocktails. I know you're not big on cocktails too much, are you?
I'm not.
No.
They're fun. I enjoy cocktails. I like places like the Ball and Biscuit because they have different, like, I had like an organic cucumber vodka, and it was really good
I
and
believe it was called the
refreshing.
136.
Yeah, it was called the 136. That's what it was called. Yes, it was very good. I enjoyed it.
It was very refreshing. It was
was.
nice. Had a Sazerac. Wasn't the best thing in the world.
What was it?
A Sazerac.
What is that?
It's made from rye whiskey and absinthe mainly. Here you're supposed to coat the glass in absinthe, but they had the spray, which
Well, and they said it
impart the
wasn't
flavor.
like you make it out like it was displayed like this is a Sazerac, and they give you something different. They absolutely stated this is our take on the Sazerac. It was, letting you know straight up, this is not a traditional Sazerac drink. This is our take on it.
Yeah, that is true. But
Absolutely.
when I asked where I could get a Sazerac in the city, I was told Ball and Biscuit. So.
Well, because the average person isn't,
the average person isn't what?
Is
Obsessed
it all-
with drinking?
yes, the average person, people that even think that they love alcohol, or like he'll ask him questions and they're like, huh? And he's just like, you don't love alcohol.
You'll never love it the way I do.
Yeah, which is good. I love it because he has a plethora of information upon alcohol.
It's just
You know.
useless. And I only spout it when I start drinking way too much.
I wish that were true, but no, it comes out all the time. No,
They can't help you. Who you
no,
are.
it's good. I enjoy it though because he knows about it.
Yeah, it's been a good time. You been getting anything this weekend?
I've just been watching Game of Thrones, pretty much burning through that.
And for how many years had you refused to watch this show?
Well, the 4th season just ended, right? So it must be 4 years.
I thought it was the 5th season. Is the 4th season just ended?
I'm not
I thought
sure.
It was the 5th. I'm not sure.
According to HBO Go, they have up to the end of the 4th season.
And
So-
it's the 4th season.
Yeah, I guess
oh,
so.
good. Yeah, it is. It is because I remember thinking we still have at least 2 more years because that's
It's like 'cause book 3
bare
just ended,
minimum
they
is usually
book 3 into
6.
two series. So you're a holdout on this show for quite a while, due mainly to the subject matter being medieval-esque, or is it just fantasy in general that you don't enjoy?
The medieval part, because I've just seen so many movies and TV shows over the years that are the same basic story. There's a king, there's a knight, some evil out there in the world, and they go questing to take care of it. And that's I've just seen that story played out
Sounds like
so
every
many
Sandler
times.
film I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's actually true. So
Yeah.
so I just figured, it's gonna be it's gonna be rehashed. Like, what could be good about this?
Right.
But they actually do a lot of very interesting things. It's pretty twisted at times. A lot of surprises. Killing people left and right that you wouldn't expect. It's very interesting.
And that was the hallmark
politics
of the
of
book
it,
series.
you know,
When
the
I began
politics.
reading
It's
it
fun.
I was done with fantasy fiction. I was done. And I started reading about these books, and they're like, there's no regard for fantasy convention in this. And I was like, well, okay, I'll give it a try. I was looking for something to read. And yeah, from first 100 pages, I was hooked. I mean, when you read the books, the weirdest thing, I couldn't believe I didn't know, hear anything about this, but the opening prologue to the first book is just about these guys out, just like the opening to the series. These guys out on a ranger mission, and they run into a White Walker. Like, hang on, this is medieval fantasy with zombies. All right, weird, but we'll see. And then the dire wolves show up, and then the promise of dragons coming, and it's
they're coming. Oh, they're coming.
I don't know. You said you're up to almost through season 4, so
Right.
possible spoilers for anything up to that point in Game of Thrones and beyond if I slip up. Excuse me. But I don't know. These dragons don't seem very opposing.
The last time I saw them was the blue one had gotten pretty big, and it had like attacked some sheep.
Oh, the black one? Yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, I mean, yeah, that could mess some people up, but it's not like the city
They're
destroying.
not controlled, though, in any way at this point. They're just kind of wild.
Right. Like they seem to be. They'll protect Khaleesi, but not necessarily take any orders from her. So it's just that's what I was wondering too. I'm like, how are they going to rein these things in? You know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, they look adolescent now on a TV show, and of course, I don't know, the different stages of dragon growth. I believe it varies from author to author, but I mean, they look like they were in the adolescent stage. They used to talk about in the books, and they haven't touched on it too much in the show, that her parents would actually ride dragons in battle, and as mounts. As fiery mounts, and they would take castles with them. But I don't see how she's going to be able to... I mean, you'd think they need to be broken like a horse, at least. But they're reptilians, so their brain's actually a bit less good. But, of course, we're talking about fantasy creatures that I'm trying to apply real Earth logic to.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do in the show, so you might as well, It's fantasy with real Earth logic applied.
For
the most part. For the most part.
I'm interested in what you would think, Carrie. How do you think you would meld with a lizard beast? And control them or coerce them to do things? Because I feel like you probably understand it the most.
Well, in this show, I definitely don't think they meld brains or... Well, kind of they do. I mean, there's definitely magic involved because, let's be clear, she didn't burn to death when she gave birth to those things. So there's definitely some magic involved. And, is it only the dragons that can ride these things? The bloodline of the dragon?
The Targaryens?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see why.
Because it seems to me like you would have to be reared, like you're saying, and they're not. She's not like, rearing, training her dragons, if you will. Bitch needs to train her dragon. She can learn. I got a movie she could watch. But like...
Well,
of course, Brett's not caught up yet, so it's unfortunate we can't talk about more things. And I'd like to also say it gets really frustrating too, because since he's read all the books up to date, like every time something happens, I look at him and he won't tell me anything, which I appreciate also because I don't want it to be ruined.
You also get mad at me.
Afterwards, afterwards I'd be mad. But I'm mad that he won't tell me to.
Well, one thing I noticed too is it seems like dragons must be somewhat intelligent, because if there was just like a magic thing where they listened to Khaleesi or didn't attack her or protect her or whatever, then I think they would start attacking the army around her, like all of her slave army and that kind of thing. Like they don't bother them, So they must have some level of understanding that these are my people, or
definitely.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's the dragons thing has been so underplayed. I was so disappointed how many of the direwolves are killed already. Because I thought, it kind of felt like in the first book that it was going to be like, okay, well, here we go. We got dragons and direwolves. This is going to be the... And then the White Walkers. So this is going to be the big three-headed battle. And, of course, nothing's ever what you think it's going to be in this book series. But they literally just kind of... The direwolves, anyway, are just a parallel life to whoever they were attached to earlier, like whoever they were handed to when they found them. Because Arya's wolf, Nymeria, I believe, is just off somewhere. No one knows where it is. Sansa's got killed because of Arya.
Joffrey.
Yeah, attacking Joffrey or protecting Arya, whatever. Let's see. Jon Snow's is still with him at the Wall, I believe. Obviously,
Ghost.
Rob's dog was dead.
Rob's dog's dead. Yeah, and that leaves Shaggy Dog, and
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby, Astro.
No, really, it was Shaggy Dog, and was it Grey Wind?
I don't remember all the names of the dogs. I really.
Well, there's the two other Stark boys,
and Bran, and I keep wanting to say Tommen, but I think that's the younger.
The very youngest one. His name is whatever his name is. The youngest Stark boy. His direwolf is named Shaggy Dog,
Okay.
And then I forget. I want to say Brands is Grey Wind, but I could be wrong. Maybe no, that was Rob's Wolf. Maybe I'm not sure.
Grey Wind makes me think old person fart for some reason.
Definitely.
It's understandable.
We also saw the Book of Mormon this weekend,
Oh.
which was exciting. It was very nice.
It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Did
it
Matt
was
and
fun
Trey
and
come
funny.
out and take a vow?
They did not.
I personally
Modest
think
people.
that Jesus definitely spoke in a Trey tone, like kind of like a Cartman. He could be like how he would end certain things, like "you guys," or like he would say the way he would say certain words. It was very South Parkish sounding.
When you said
which is,
Trey
of course,
tone,
the-
I was thinking like trace, like three. And I was
Oh,
like, what's
no.
a three tone? I was like,
It's a Trey tone, baby. Trey tone.
gotcha.
Trey tone.
It's modulated.
Oh.
No, that would be if you had a 3-tone. Never mind.
He's getting all real and shit. Isaiah keeps it real.
I thought it was fun.
It was fun. He had a problem with well, they did like there was several times, like a few times during the show where the mics weren't working properly. Like
Well, the mixer wasn't quite on his game. Couldn't
Yeah.
quite hear the background music. Was too loud. You couldn't hear the lyrics, and the whole thing.
and
about
not
this is
every
you didn't
song
hear
by
the
any
lyrics.
means, but in a
No.
few songs.
No, in a few songs, but I think the performance was good.
The performance was excellent. The actual performers, they were all. I was impressed with all of them. They were so good. And of course, this was my first Broadway show.
Yeah.
You got to also, disclaimer.
I would
of course,
recommend
the first
it for anyone
one's-
that's interested in that style of humor and likes Broadway. I guess. I mean, it's not the
really
best
good.
Broadway play I've ever seen, though.
I think it's accessible though, just because like most people I think when they think Broadway that's touring the country and stuff like that, it's gonna be like Cats or
Yeah.
some classical-ish kind of play.
Sure.
So I think that this, like, the Book of Mormon is something that like dudes would want to go see or be willing to see at least,
Right.
that had never seen a Broadway play or any play before, probably.
Well, when we stepped out for a cigarette,
Uh-huh.
there's like a certain place you like go down and it's still gated off, so you don't have to deal. It's obviously who
Right.
comes in, whatever.
Mhm.
And there was several people out there. It was actually getting a little cramped, and Isaiah was like, "This is the most he's ever seen," because he's been to lots of Broadway shows there throughout the years,
Yeah.
and he's like, he's never seen he was like.
It was the
That
biggest
many
fucking crowd
people.
I've seen at a Broadway show.
Yeah,
Believe it or not.
just to go along through saying, the clientele.
Right. Because I think people who are pretty serious Broadway enthusiasts would probably not really be into this,
I think
maybe.
they would just because it did win 9 Tonys.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure they'd see it at least
it was
once.
the biggest and probably is still the best known Broadway play right now across the country. So just for that reason, I think the normal crowd would go. What I didn't notice, which was nice because I was worried about it, is kids. I usually see quite a few kids at these shows. Not
Oh
last
yeah.
night. There were quite a few drunk frat boys though.
Mm-hmm.
That were very talkative, loud talkative.
I didn't notice
during
that
the
as
show.
much. There was
Yeah.
just one dude I noticed a couple times.
Yeah, he was a dick.
Yeah, he was a dick.
What was he saying?
Just talking, like I don't know, maybe something would
He would
happen
yell
and he'd be
stuff
like,
at the stage, like at
Yeah.
the
Like as
characters.
they were acting?
Yeah.
yeah, it's like,
Wow.
dude,
They-
you're
nobody
not at a
like,
rock concert.
went up to him or anything?
Well, it
that's
was
crazy.
it wasn't like crazy out of control. It was just like here
It
and
was
there.
several times. It wasn't constant.
Exactly.
Ah.
It was several times.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard him like 3 times throughout the entire thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But still,
It's
at the
just
same time,
unacceptable.
yeah, it's unacceptable.
I'm trying to drink way too much whiskey and watch a play. Come on, guy.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Definitely want to go again.
Yeah, I would. You mean
Well,
do another play? Or
Yeah, do
just
another
see that
play.
one?
I just got it in me now. Ever since we watched the Tonys, I'm just like, theater! I've always enjoyed the theater, and it's like, man, we do not go to the theater enough. So, and
Well,
it's something I've
never went,
really
so.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, we've never been. So yeah, enough.
We've been to plays. We've been to, I mean, not like,
Have we? Yeah, I guess we went
Yes.
to the one at the Irvington.
oh, I guess, yeah.
The Night of the Living Dead. Was that Night of the Living Dead? No. what
Yeah,
was
the
that?
musical. It was
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead, the musical, which I slept through the entire thing.
She did.
The
That's how
entire
good
thing.
it was.
No, and I feel bad because I really wanted to see it, but it was just like, oh, it was, we were going all weekend long. It was back, I don't know,
So long ago.
well, no, it was like that weekend we just had a lot. I overbooked us for so many things, and it was like in the summertime. I believe, or maybe it was a fall. I don't know. Regardless, but anyway, like
It was a late show, though.
it was a late show, and if it wasn't for the fact that my mother was going and wanted to go, I wouldn't have even ended up going because I was so tired to begin with. So I felt so bad for her and the people performing that could see me asleep, because that's the rudest thing you could possibly do. But my mother wanted to go to this show, so I took her and I tried. I really tried. The second half, I didn't try. We woke up, I went to smoke a cigarette, came back, and fell asleep.
It did feel long.
It was long, wasn't it?
It felt long.
I don't know. I was asleep.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I feel so bad.
Is there a problem with that?
But life goes on.
It felt long. She fell asleep. All that.
All of that? Just condense it. I'd stamp it.
I prefer the like the local weird plays like they have like down in Mass Ave and stuff.
Like we saw Night of the Living Dead play. That was good. It was really good.
Was it not a musical?
It was not a musical.
Okay.
It was at the Indy Fringe. It was at the Fringe building, which we were just talking the other day that we were definitely going to Fringe this year.
That's
last
fun.
time we by the time we actually went to buy tickets, the shows we wanted to see were sold out. So we're just like,
It's
"Meh."
surprising. Like
It's gotten popular.
yeah, absolutely.
So we like get them early. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone a few times to the Fringe Fest, and it's just you get to see a lot of stuff real fast, and it's cheaper than normal, and it's kind of cool. Like there's one that we saw. I went a couple years ago, and it was we kind of had gone to a couple plays, and at the end of it, we had to decide where we were going to go, which it was kind of late, so there were just a few choices, and there was this one that was over at the Phoenix. And it was just this one woman show where it was this kind of heavier set older black woman who was talking about how when she was like growing up, teenager and stuff, that she was really into all these artists on like MTV and really wanted to be them. So she would do costume wig changes on stage really fast and then play out. She would sing songs from these like 80s artists that were popular. Like, she did like Madonna. She progressed throughout the years too, and like got into like Celine Dion, Britney Spears, just all these different people, and it was just kind of cool seeing her like transform, because this lady you would never expect to do a Britney Spears song. Just looking like physically the way she looked, you'd be like, no way, But she'd nail it. She was really.
What Britney Spears song she sang? I know you're the
I think it was like
Britney Spears songs.
I think it's called "Just a Girl" or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Just a
that
Girl.
sucks. I hate that song. Yeah, Just a Girl. It's a Britney song. I like her Toxic song. That one's got a hook. That one's fun.
That one, when I started to go out to the clubs, that was huge. I heard that like every single time. Every time you went there, and it was multiple times throughout the night, they would play that song.
Yeah.
They kill songs.
And everybody would rush on the floor. It was just, yeah.
I was not into Britney Spears. I was older.
I just have nothing to say about dance clubs. I was sitting there thinking the last time I was at a dance club, I was DD, and it was one of the worst nights of my life.
Oh, I can imagine. I think the last time I was out, I don't know if you were with us or not, went to Greg's and danced. That was the last time.
Maybe. I don't know if I was there or
I
not.
was at a club. Yeah, I don't know.
Last time I was at Talbot.
It's been a few years. Maybe that was the last time. I remember I was at Talbot with you at one point.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. But
I do like dancing at Greg's. Greg's dancing's fun.
I don't know where Greg's is, but not even heard of it.
It's on 16th and I want to say Illinois, maybe.
I'm not sure. That's why I was looking to you. Where's Greg's?
And this is in Indianapolis?
Yeah.
It is. It's like it's just slightly north of like downtown, like the heart of downtown kind of thing.
I've never heard of it. I don't know.
The Rathskeller was fun. It's been so many years that we went to, I guess Friday night, for the polka. It's been so long since we've been to the Rathskeller, so that was nice.
Greg's
never seen a show.
Used to be called Our Place, I guess like way back in the day. And
that sounds more familiar, but I don't.
The funny thing is that I still question every time I go there is they have an alleyway that you can go out in. Like, you go in the building.
Oh, I love that thing.
If you walk straight through it and then go out another door, you're in an alleyway, which is between two buildings.
Okay.
And they have it gated
fenced off,
and fenced off on both ends. So
they have heaters.
They do that.
That's where you smoke.
Yeah, that's where you can smoke because it's open. There's no ceiling or anything. So you can just step out instead of going out front and standing on the street. You can just step out, and they have like seating and ashtrays
And heaters
for the winter, all that kind of stuff. But when you go out there, their old sign is up on the wall, and it's our place, but the O is the seat of a toilet seat, and it's a toilet seat. I'm just like, what did this place used to be? Like, what did this used to be like? If they felt like they had to put that on the sign, you know?
Well, it's all about the scat.
Yeah.
Draw
I mean, this
people
has been nasty back in the day.
Get them into the toilet seat.
But, I mean, anymore, it's just a real laid back kind of everybody goes there kind of thing. Because there's, like, some clubs, it's, like, real age restricted. Like, you know, like young people go here. Old people go here.
Okay.
This one's just a mishmash for everybody.
I like those. Those are my favorite places.
Yeah. It's cool because it's got separate areas. Like, there's, like, a pool area, like a room.
Right.
And then there's, like, the bar where you can actually sit down and just hang out there. And
then there's a club area.
And then there's, like, another small bar with, like, darts and just some seating where you can sit around. And then there's a dance floor. And another room way off to the right. So
that's the best part. Dance, dance, dance. Yeah.
Which I think they're still trying to figure out what to do with that because people just don't dance as much as they used to.
I mean, last time I was out there, everyone was dancing.
It happens sometimes, but I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's just maybe a handful. They've had a lot of times where they've tried to reconfigure it or do something different. Like I remember at one point they had a fake tree in the middle of the dance floor for like a year or two. Like they thought it was really cool or something.
I think I remember that.
How much space did that take up?
Too much.
Yeah.
A lot. Because it was just kind of like a big trunk, so it was probably, I don't know, 3-4 feet around kind of thing.
So you're saying less people are going out there, you think they're just trying to make the dance floor look more full?
Make it look like something's going on out there, get people out there. Maybe they figured it was something in the middle kind of blocking the view. People would be less conscious about like dancing along the different sides of it or something. I really don't know.
Right.
But then they made a stage up front too. They started to really hype that up where they put tables on the dance floor even. And to where it wasn't really even a dance floor anymore. It was just for performances, and they'd have drag queens.
Okay.
I've seen them do like country line dancing in there. I mean, they just have tried everything to do something with that room.
Right.
Because it's just real rare people actually will get out there and dance.
That's crazy.
Like you usually see a handful of people just kind of randomly, really drunk, stumbling around, kind of half dancing.
It makes sense to me. I can't see that there's that many places that people would want for that kind of thing. I mean, the place I had to go to was, I believe, called the Cadillac Ranch. Or is that the name of that place that's underneath the...
under the bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? They got the mechanical bull in there and all that. There's like 3 different dance floors with 3 different DJs, and it's just boom, 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 all night long. It's just drunk college kids, and that's exactly what it was, just a bunch of drunk college kids running around. But it was full, for sure.
Well, I think that's kind of what downtown needs to do is kind of get away from the dance clubs.
Definitely.
Because they're in Broad Ripple. I mean, there's all kinds of places up there that are real dancey and stuff like that. So that's where the college kids go, is Broad Ripple, you know? They don't really go downtown a lot. They do
I don't know. I think they figured that out because, like, we're on Mass Ave, like, past 2 nights. And it's doing fine. You know, there's lots of people
out.
Places
like Mass Ave and Fountain Square are doing a lot better now because they're not dance clubs. They have places that you can get some decent food, a good drink. Yeah. Just sit down.
Just nice bars. Interesting, hipster bars with interesting cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd prefer that over the dance clubs any day. That's me. I'm getting a signal here that Carrie needs to go to the bathroom, so we're going to lock Brett back in his basement and allow Her Highness to go. So signing off here for the Playful Secrets podcast, I'm Isaiah Huffman, along with Carrie Eller.
You don't even know my name! I think I know where you're staying tonight, Brett. Make room in the basement.
All right,
no problem.
I'll talk to you later.